A brawler has disappeared from Brawl Stars. We expected this with Clawbert, but there are some interesting details. Plus, a world record has just been broken and is still being surpassed. We're going to talk about it and also talk about everything that's happening right now on Brawl Stars. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're in good shape as usual. Before we start this video, I want to thank everyone who uses the code Periado to get Brawl passes, skins, and so on, no matter what you buy or even if you don't buy anything. Anyway, a big thank you to all of you. You're doing great, and I just hope you enjoy the video. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, as I told you, use the code Periado. Anyway, let's get started. As usual, at the start of each video, there are daily gifts. Collecting them really adds up. You can see a few PowerPoints here. There are 75 now, but yesterday was more interesting with 100 credits available for free-to-play accounts. That's actually pretty good, so don't forget about the free gifts. They've only had this for about 2 weeks, and you get a lot of rewards if you start from the beginning. Anyway, what did Brawl Stars say? Not many new things have happened since March 7th. We saw that well-known long text summarizing 2025 and mentioning possible updates for 2026. We also had International Women's Day, but then what new things were there? First, we had a small optional update. That's pretty interesting, especially for players who have a device. Let's say not great because, as you can see, another issue that caused loading freezes or game crashes, it's mostly for phones that aren't, well, great. Like I told you, those that are a bit old or that don't support Brawl Stars, normally that's been fixed. They shouldn't have those issues anymore. There were a few other small things that were also fixed. And once again, Billy's famous gadget, which has normally been properly fixed. Really, that's the most unbearable thing right now. At least the gadget, let's say, is more or less at the right level now. Be careful, Billy is still just as strong. Something quite interesting, if you're fishing for trophies, there's the Star Rush, which is available until March 13th. By the way, just so you know, this button here has changed. There you go, just a little info. And the second thing, we have the trophy race, which is also coming back this weekend. So what is the trophy race? So these famous trophy rushes, just press a button to win. Double trophies for those desperate for more trophies. Now you know, it's this weekend. Normally it lasts 2 days, so Saturday and Sunday will be the time to play together. So if you haven't updated or anything, don't forget to do it, especially since we've seen pretty much all the boosts. The only thing missing is gold. I think we haven't had that yet. So we've had Star Rush, Trophy Rush, and PowerPoints Rush. The only thing missing is gold. I don't think we've had that yet. The max number of PowerPoints is 1000. Here are the different game modes they offer. When you win a match in Brawl Arena, you get 400. So if you're just a few seconds short, don't forget to start a Brawl Arena match. In 5v5 mode, it's 300. Otherwise, in the normal modes, let's say in 3v3 and even Showdown, it's 200. That's over now, but for next time, it'll still be useful to know. These are things you'll want to remember. Also, we have new rewards, and it's pretty important to know. You can see right here, we have all the basic rewards. It went up to 1000 points. So just to remind you, it's about making predictions on esports. And you can get exclusive icons, but also other rewards. We see an emote, another icon, and you can see that it's been extended. We have 1100, 1300. There are chaos star drops, 1500, a famous pin. So just to be clear, this is only for this weekend. So this weekend, just a reminder, there will only be East Asia as well as Europe. Next week, March 21st and 22nd, North and South America will have the reward track extended again. This weekend, we can go up to 1500.
Mais la prochaine fois, ça pourra aller jusqu'à 2000.
And we also have this emote. The farther you go, the more exclusive emotes you'll get, which are really cool. I'm not sure if this little tag was released already. It looks familiar. At least you can see what's available, so don't forget to make your predictions to finish this. Even if you didn't start last month, you can still catch up. It's easy, so I'll help you out. Make your predictions, save this video to your favorites, or just remember this part, whatever works for you. You know what you need to predict here. Zeta Division versus DF Zeta Division, obviously. Plus, they won last month, so I want to say if they win, they're technically better. Escalalas versus Rival Esports, that's a bit more complicated. Honestly, I kind of want to say Escalalas, who, in my opinion, should be better. Plus, they have Kuru, who was already a world champion. WWL versus Feasible. Honestly, just like that, I'd rather say WWL. Crazy Raccoon versus Reject, so Crazy Raccoon gets eliminated very quickly. They're ranked very low. Reject has a real team with Levi, Melty, and Shu, while Crazy Raccoon, they're world champions, so technically better, but both are tough. Honestly, I'd put Crazy Raccoon in the semi-finals, and this time we're making it to the finals. So, Zeta Division against Escalalas, I'd rather go with Zeta Division, but honestly, I don't see them winning again since Crazy Raccoon are way too far behind in points. So I would say Crazy Raccoon wins against WWL in the semi-final, then wins the final and becomes the champion. For me, that's how it would go. Crazy Raccoon absolutely has to win. When you look at the East Asia rankings, they're still a bit behind in points. They absolutely need to catch up. As for predictions for the region, Fute against Kebab. There's no debate there. It's definitely Fute. Team Heretics against Nevi, we would remove the Dwarf for Enrage. So I think they still need to find their footing and so on. They're still struggling, but Team Heretics are performing well, so I'd pick them. However, in the semi-final, Team Heretics would lose to FUT, who would then advance to the grand final from the other semi-final. Humble against Real Madrid, I would say Humble, and Totem against Novo, I would say Totem. So here, I would put Humble in the final, and it would be another final for me. FUT against Humble, the real winner. The first time it was FUT. Could Humble get their revenge? That's the real question. Honestly, I don't think so. I think Fute is still on top. And for me, that's a team that would win everything. So I would see them as champions once again. Now that we've done all that, let's take a look at all the other things. There are several interesting things like the famous Brawler who vanished. Before that, I saw this in Brawl Stars. Organizing esports tournaments is now easier. There's a tool that has been introduced. If you want to run tournaments, it's possible. Tournament now offers automation tools for Brawl Stars and other games. It's a Brawl Stars app that lets you get notifications and organize your own tournament. Check it out when you can. You can set up the maps, the modes automatically invite players to the right lobby, and it automatically syncs the results, so no cheating. Honestly, I don't think there's a better app for organizing tournaments. I haven't tried it yet since it was just released on March 11, but it's clearly a great innovation. Now, let's talk about records. We can see that there's a player with 200,826 trophies. Let's remember that the original world record was held by Equa. He had beaten Ira at 201,000 trophies, and as you can see, this record has been completely broken. I want to say it's normal since all the trophies have changed, so let's say it doesn't necessarily deserve much credit. It's not the same trophy system, so it's not really comparable. Still, the record has been broken and there are more trophies now. This player is Elox, a Frenchman. A video with him is coming soon, but I have to mention it now because he just broke the record. Check his account. 93,000 wins in 3v3 plus wins in solo and duo. He doesn't have time to climb the ranked ladder since he's focused on rushing trophies. This player already has every brawler at Prestige 2, while some make videos just for getting a brawler to Prestige 2. Just so you know, this person, as you can see, really has all the brawlers at Prestige 2. And when I say all, I mean literally all of them. They're all at a minimum of 2,000 trophies, and some have way more than 2,000 trophies. As you can see, for example, Griff, 2,500 Cole, 2,500 Clawbert, 2,500 Billy, 2,500 Mortis, 2,500 and so on. There are quite a few of them, and there are a lot of comments about him. People are wondering how he finds the time to get here, just so you know. He earned 200,000 trophies, rushing over 100,000 in under 10 days, and reached Prestige 2 on everything in the same time. You have to wonder if he sleeps only 3 hours a night to pull this off. Now, his aim is Prestige 3 on everything, and to be the first with 300,000 trophies, he's breaking records, and his stats are impressive. Here we see that for the past 7 days, like on February 28th, he doesn't have the full day since it was cut off due to the time. Otherwise, you can see 678 battles per day, then there's 645, 664, 646, 688. Anyway, you can see it's more than 650 battles per day. That's still impressive. There's a little drop, let's say 464 here, so on the other days it's around 400. And these last few days, he rushed a bit less, I guess. He got everything to Prestige 2, so maybe that's also why, obviously, it's the 12th, so the day isn't over yet, but he's already done 151 battles. He does need to get some sleep when it comes to his trophies. You can see the push he made. It's still impressive. So you can see he didn't rush a lot, even though, keep in mind, there were still 113,000 trophies. It's still pretty tough. You can see at the time of the reset, so it was on the 26th. And again, he didn't rush right away. He has 100,000 trophies. Since the 100th Brawler had just come out, it was serious and he got it right away. You can see the curve. It's impressive. You're going to ask me, Periado, how does this person do it? Well, listen, it's pretty simple. You can see a few games actually on some Brawlers in Brawl Ball, for example. He got 490 trophies, 80 battles, 15 losses. So be careful. It might seem simple, right? He's Prestige 2, which means he earns fewer trophies. What's impressive is how he moved from Prestige 1 to Prestige 2 and how he did it. You can see it on some Brawlers, but for example, you can see for Meg, he won 51 games and only lost 2. And it's like that for most of the Brawlers. For example, Jay Young, 58-2 Pierre, 58-2. Byron, exactly the same. We have Bell, 55 wins and only 1 loss. Squeak, 53 wins and 0 losses, just like Buster. In short, with some Brawlers, he never loses. For example, Juju, he hasn't lost at all. He got 1,000 trophies, 50 battles, 50 wins, 0 losses, just like Meeple. 50 wins, he got 1,000 trophies, 0 losses. Again, in short, there are a few Brawlers where you can see a few losses like that. But honestly, when I get 0 losses like that, for sure, it feels pretty good. You can see the streak here. Barley, Jesse, Lou. In short, it's impressive. And you can see that all the Brawlers, they only rush them in Brawl Ball, but so far, we've only had Brawl Ball. And still, that doesn't include all the stats. Keep in mind, on the days when they were playing all these Brawlers and so on. You can see 648 wins for 38 losses, 94% win rate. You can see the Brawlers, they rush each time. Well, here, he's trying to get everything to Prestige 2. He levels up a few this way, and for some, he just plays 1 game each time. For example, Demar, 615 wins, that's impressive. 95% win rate again, and you can see everything he puts in. Prestige 2. With his number of games, so he really plays them as much as he can with each Brawler. And otherwise, most of the time, as soon as he gets a Brawler, he levels it up. We can see a loss on Piper. He started once with Piper. He lost, unfortunately. Anyway, the stats are really strong. We can see how many trophies he was earning per day. 11,025 trophies, for example. Here, the next day, he earned 10,692 trophies, and there, almost 11,010 trophies. Anyway, honestly, when you look at the stats, it's insanely impressive. 11,118 trophies, that's just crazy. And think about it, this kind of win, to get almost 11,000 trophies in a single day. He plays almost 20 hours a day. Anyway, it's just insane. And the worst part of all this is that most of the games he loses, well, not most, but as he says, I get targeted by a cheater every 10 games. Pretty nice, right? We'll explain. A video with Elox is coming soon where I ask several questions. It should be interesting. You'll also see him play against a bee and can watch his movements. For those unfamiliar with the game, it might be unclear, but seeing a bee make those small movements, some will think this player is really skilled. No, actually, he's just a cheater, and unfortunately, there are a few cheaters on Brawl Stars. It happens, and you can see the movements, so of course he loses against cheaters. And on top of that, you can see now that he's prestiged. And he says very clearly, they have a lot of accounts. And I have to wait 10 minutes to find a match. Because when you're Prestige 2, you only meet other Prestige 2 players. So obviously, matchmaking is a lot more complicated. Now, let's talk about something really interesting. I saw this famous post, which is honestly crazy. Funny anecdote, Brawl Stars censored all appearances of Clawbert on its YouTube channel. For example, in the Brawl talk where he was introduced, you can see he was blurred. And his name too, wherever he was shown, he was blurred. Here, it's hypercharged, so it's blurred. His skin, well, you can still see it. It says Bert Claw. Usually it says by Clawbert, but now it's missing. The name Clawbert also isn't visible anymore and hasn't been replaced. And the most interesting thing about all this is that during the introduction video, he says, here is the new Brawler Clawbert. They even cut the voiceover. You can go to the Brawl talk and you won't hear the name Clawbert. It has been completely removed from the Brawl talk. You can't hear it anymore. It's pretty strange and curious that Brawl Stars wants us to forget his name. Is there something we don't know? Anyway, it was completely ignored, not just blurred out, it was really cut out. You can't hear it anymore. So, of course, there are a lot of speculations and I'm going to show you all of that because I swear it got a huge reaction. They really did it. They removed the name Clawbert from the Brawl talk. They also removed his name from the most recent Brawl talk with the scene and his hypercharge. And what's interesting here is that it kind of confirms that they're facing a lawsuit. So, you see, something where Clawbert was registered, they can't reuse it. So, I looked into it a bit and found a post. Man, look at this post. Why was the name Clawbert removed? The guy explained why it was changed, how it changed from Clawy. He came up with several theories. For example, there's a theory about copyright, so you're not allowed to use a word like, for example, a brand. I don't know. Let's say Disney, you're not allowed to use the name Disney for commercial purposes, since Disney is already registered, so you can't make money from it, otherwise you have to ask Disney for permission to do it. I just picked something at random, but you get it? Did they do it actually for a theory to get engagement, for example? We're taking the example here of Make Melody Tall again, because Melody had gotten shorter, she was originally taller, and that actually created a lot of engagement. Anyway, you might remember that period. Here's another idea. Maybe for April Fool's Day. Could there be a small event, and is there a reason for it? Could it be related to the lore, or is it simply the developers who decided to change the name, and that's it? And another theory is that Clawbert in another language has meanings that don't fit with the game. So let's say the guy laid out all the theories. For example, is it a copyright issue? He says it's pretty weak, and he explained all that anyway. Since it's pretty weak, we couldn't really explain it. But at least you see all the theories. When I tell you the guy went really far, he really went far. He even checked the patents in the name Clawbert. He's really obsessed, so... He explains it's not possible because there are other things like Clawbert or the Colt, a weapon. He asks if it's about engagement. He says it's likely. We saw strong engagement with Melody at first, and when Melody's size was reduced, maybe it's the same thing for Clawbert, he explains. Even with charts, for example, when Melody came out, there was still a lot of hype. And actually, Melody changed size. It was here, you can see Melody's popularity. Everyone was commenting. And then after a while, when its size went back to normal, it gradually died out. She reappeared around Valentine's Day due to a date. So many people searched for her username. For example, with Clawbert, you can see there aren't many searches, just the red bar. When it was announced and later during its CP early access, it still wasn't that impressive despite a noticeable spike. And when Clawbert changed its name, you can see it increase slightly. Was that the reason? He tells us it's very likely. He also explains that Clawbert with a G and Clawbert with a C, people were confusing them. And that's exactly why they changed its name, because it's too complicated to say Clawbert in reality, and they're not wrong. So that's why it's called Glowy. It's much simpler for us, so it could be possible. Could it be related to April 1st, he explains to us? Not really, honestly. It's not impossible. There are so many trolls, like the egg skins that showed up 3 years later. Could this be tied to the lore? He explains to us normally no, we had something like that where Clawbert had 4 weeks of recovery. He tells us honestly the lore, not really. Is it the developers who had to change the name? He says not really either, he tells us really. The simplest theory is just that it creates a lot of engagement and it would be really useful. Or I believe maybe there's a little secret, something like that. It could be pretty interesting, but I believe it. You see, the way it's said is too complicated. And so they also say glowy. For me, there are those two ways. Anyway, it's pretty interesting to see all that. In any case, Clawbert has been completely removed from Brawl Stars for now. Here are all the rewards we received during the community events and when we add them up. And that everyone participated in all the community events. Honestly, there are a lot of rewards. We can see the number of star drops. When we reached 100 star drops, got 10 mega boxes, and even when we received omega boxes, which only happened once along with a Daryl skin. We got about 10 random hypercharges like that. We got hypercharged skins, free brawlers, ultra boxes, mega boxes, gold skins. In short, these are all the rewards we've received. There are still a few brawlers, a few legendary skins. Even with the sports suit, it's pretty interesting to see all these free rewards. It just goes to show that if you're always logged in at the right time, logically, you get a bit lucky and you get all this. The VIP tickets for the Brawl Cup are finally sold out. I told you that you could get tickets for Berlin. All the VIP tickets are gone, so it's completely sold out. So normally the Brawl Cup really has a lot of hype around it. There are quite a few people who got these tickets to come see all the players, etc. I don't know if you remember. In the last video, I introduced a hacker who took part in the monthly qualifier of the Brawl Stars Esports Championships. That person. So I told you, would he get caught or not? His account was banned for using prohibited third-party software. So using prohibited third-party software, that simply means he had a hack on his account, so he was banned. For cheat, that's exactly what it means. So there you go. For those who are wondering about the last video, this person was indeed using a cheat. Here's a quick update since I showed you. Humble also made a post with the meta tier list. I'm also showing you in a video which brawler he'd call broken and which he wouldn't. As you can see, it's basically the same meta and brawlers I mentioned in the last video. They just added Nagia. Here, there's Ziggy, who they also considered as broken. I'm a bit surprised. Ziggy, be careful, is good, but I wouldn't have put him that high. Otherwise, it's exactly the same brawlers I told you about. I made a top 10 list and mentioned some strong brawlers in the meta. I didn't cover everything, but you can see a ranking made by esports players. And it's not necessarily for the ladder, etc., but it really lets you see which brawlers are the strongest or not. It differs very slightly from the ladder, since here it's more about ranked at most, but it lets you see which brawler is good in the meta. And at least if you want an idea of which brawlers you really shouldn't play, well, I think those are the brawlers, exactly as I said. There aren't many surprises, but it does provide a true ranking of former world champions. Since ranked will change and I saw this post, it gives me a chance to respond. What do you think the new battle cards will look like in 2026? If ranked changes, indeed, we might also get new profile cards. Now, be careful, nothing is confirmed, but if ranked changes, there will definitely be a small update. It would be interesting to see what happens with that. That's why, for those who absolutely want to rush something, don't forget to do it. You still have a few months left, so don't forget. It's not a big deal if you don't do it this season at all costs, but still, don't forget to do it. You never know if you want to reach Master Legendary or whatever your goal is. No matter your level, try to do it before it changes. Again, this is just to warn you. In any case, I think Brawl Stars will let us know before it changes, but of course, if you're warned at the last minute, Tom will also push for Master now, so it could get more complicated. Here's how Brawl Stars and Clash Royale have changed this year. What do you think? We can see that Clash Royale has dropped a lot since then, and Brawl Stars has bounced back, and honestly, right now, it's at a good level. A few days or weeks ago, I was always showing all the charts I saw. When it comes to interest in Brawl Stars, you can see that it's increasing and the trends are different depending on the country. But you can see that Clash Royale has really adjusted and made way for Brawl Stars. Yeah, Brawl Stars is kind of blowing up everywhere. They nailed their update. This time, it was a total success. Now, if there's going to be a community event or anything like that in February, it could really blow up, followed by another Brawl Talk. Honestly, it could be a peak, a huge peak, almost as big as 2024. That's exceptional. The first Prestige 3 brawlers are starting to appear. You can see especially Ikaos, who upgraded his Rico to Prestige 3. There are a few brawlers who are already Prestige 3. So, just to remind you, it's 3,000 trophies for Prestige 4 for now. No one has gone higher than what I've seen in Prestige, so I don't know if that's changed. At the time I'm making this video, it was Bull who had almost 3,300 trophies. I think it's probably already gone up by now. But for now, we can see that reaching Prestige 4 is extremely difficult. It takes them several days to get there. Whereas for Prestige 2, it doesn't even take you a few hours. And Prestige 3, well, it's about the same. You need roughly a day. Prestige 4 is something else. Sirius's skin with a Chaos Star Drop theme, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. We have the rare, super rare, epic, mythic, and legendary ones, all with outfits that are just really cool. The Ultras are the same, and even the hypercharged ones. I thought the concept was really good. You can see all the skins and so on. Even epic ones fit really well. Anyway, there's really a mix for all the skins. I love it, especially the legendary one. It looks so badass. The ultra one has its own style, and the hypercharged one would be incredible. I really like the concept. Honestly, if they can do that, Brosta, it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. I saw this clip of Gigi, and honestly, the guy did great because Gigi is clearly not meta right now. He's really one of the worst assassins. Anyway, here's the clip. At the same time, let's be honest, the players on the other team are pretty weird. Honestly, I would have preferred the other gadget with Gigi. This isn't really the right gadget. He used a hypercharge for nothing, so he probably missed and just wasted it. On the other hand, the guy did great, getting a triple kill in a 1v3 with a Gigi, which is tough, but you can tell the other team's level. Especially a Piper who uses her gadget like that. It made sense. It was completely logical. There you go, Piper. No, he really did great. In this case, she played extremely badly, but you can see that Gigi handled her 1v1 pretty well. He says, it's my first time seeing Gigi use a second gadget, and it's clearly less effective. Bots in the new mode, so this is random showdown, but mainly, look at what the bots are doing, honestly. What is this nonsense? So yes, there are bots, of course, like in all game modes, there are bots. It's to fill up the matches. When you're at a low level, otherwise at a high level, matchmaking just takes longer. And there are no bots then. But what are the bots doing? Remember, they're handling bombs, but they don't explode because of their actions. The bots are strong and highly automated. I also noticed a bug with Willow's turret in Brawl Arena that I hadn't seen before. What is that? You can see it's taking 360 damage, which isn't a lot. But what kind of bug is that? And the thing is infinite, it goes all the way to the edge of the map, etc. Yeah, it's crazy. What kind of bug is that? I don't know how he got it. Maybe he used his ultimate since it's gone, but what kind of bug is that? Anyway, I showed you pretty much everything you need to know about Brawl Stars right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, I'll see you next time. Use code Periado and ciao.